Okay, so once you've made all of your cuts, all 4 of your cuts, the last cut, don't forget, is slightly on the waist side, so you can still see the pencil marking down there. You might just be able to see that in the video. You've made 4 cuts and they're all down to that halfway line. You are now going to use a mallet and a chisel. First job is to check your chisel, check the end, see it looks sharp. If there's any kind of dents in it, or there's a burr where the metal's kind of rolled over, it doesn't feel very sharp, feels lumpy on this side, don't use it. Just get a different one. Would be fastidious by picking the best of the tools available. This one looks very sharp, so I'm going to use this one. It is very sharp, it is therefore very dangerous. Actually, a sharp tool, any carpenter will tell you, is safer than a blunt one, because it's going to glide through the wood. You're not going to push too hard to achieve what you want to achieve. However, it is sharp, and we need to be careful of that. It is very sharp. Okay, so what we're going to do to start off with is we're going to take the bench hook out, and we're going to put the workpiece into the vise. You can have it lean slightly up towards you, or it can be flat, but I like to have it at this kind of angle. Then take your chisel and your mallet. Now the way you don't do it, you do not come in from this angle and try and hit it like this. It's going to be very clumsy, it's a bit sort of cat-handed. I've seen many ways people try and do it. The correct way is to have your left foot forwards, and you're going to hold the chisel with your knuckles facing upwards like so. You're going to make sure that the slope of the chisel, okay, is facing downwards. That's the flat part, that's the bevel of the chisel, and the bevel is facing downwards. You're then going to put the knuckles facing up, you're going to put the chisel into the wood, and in this way you can have a good swing. That's it. Okay, the left foot forwards, and you can put the chisel at the top of the work, hold it with your knuckles facing up, and you can have a good swing and you're in control. You don't need to have a good swing, you're just going to have a little tap, tap, tap. So, like so. Okay. So the important thing is there, I'm not taking too much out at once. I'm going down by a millimetre or 2 at a time with the bevel facing downwards, and I'm going to make sure that I'm above that line at all times. Okay, do not go below that line, don't even go on that line, you're going to keep above it for this stage. You can see here that I've actually gone to halfway, and now I'm going to stop. Okay, I'm going to turn it. So this takes about 3 seconds. We just take the workpiece out, we turn it, and we put it back into that wood vise, and then we come in from the other side, slope facing downwards, starting at the top, and we're going to go tap, 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 tap. And we've created a roof, a very steep roof. Now we turn it around again, and we're going to make that roof shallower. So, with the slope facing down still, change the angle a bit. We're now going to keep going to about halfway, but we're going to attack that wood. You can go almost at this angle. The slope actually pushes that chisel back upwards, and we get to halfway, we stop. We can turn it around, coming from the other side, and we're going to end up just being slightly above that line. It's probably going to dome a little bit, but we're going to be above. You can see it's very rough here. It's going to end up being smooth on the line, but that is another technique. Let me show you why we must have the bevel facing downwards. Let me put this nice and tight into this vise, righty-tighty. If I use this chisel correctly, I might want to take out a little bit of this wood. So I want to have a little sliver. Even though I'm coming at quite a steep angle. I'm only going into the wood. I can control it by moving this, and I can take off a little sliver of wood, a little shaving of wood, like so, and I'm in control. Okay, I can go down successfully like this using this technique. This is like the front of a speedboat, which has that kind of shape. So as it comes down, it'd hit the water and it'd bounce up again. It'd hit the water and it'd bounce up again. If a speedboat was shaped like that, then it'd hit the water and it's just going to go in. It's going to become a submarine. We don't want a submarine. So we don't want this, for example. This is the wrong way. The slope facing upwards, the bell facing up, and the flat facing down. Now, instead of taking off a sliver, that chisel is just going to bury itself. I have very little control of what's happening here. Actually moving now in the vise. And you can see the problem there. It's just buried. It was just going to come out the other side. Okay, we don't want that to happen. That is a bad situation. Particularly bad, you can imagine, if we come in from the side, it's just going to drive straight through, it's going to wreck your work. Okay, so it must be like this, bit by bit. Okay, another problem I will demonstrate is how to go wrong. If we don't stop halfway, we try and take too much off at once. Okay, it's not in particular control of it. At the end, this, even with the slope facing downwards, because I've rushed it, I tried to do too much, you get a kind of an avalanche of wood at the end there. And the whole piece will break away, and that maybe that's gone into our good wood. I think I've just about got away with that. But I wasn't in control. So you go from both sides so you can see the mark lines. The other way you can go wrong is if you haven't done your cut lines correctly. So you will notice that if you've got those cut lines in place and you put the chisel on this side, it will break that wood up to the grain, up to the cut, sorry. There we go, with the grain up to that cut line. However, on this one, I've deliberately cut this a bit short. You can see the issue, or if the issue is you hit that side, or you haven't gone deep enough, and you come in like this, then you can see the problem. Okay, there was nothing to stop that cutting, to splitting along the grain. I didn't realise I hadn't cut deep enough, and now I've cut and it's just split along the whole length. If that happens to you, talk to your teacher, talk to me. We can actually get some wood glue on this, we can put a clamp on it, and we can glue it back, and in theory you won't even be able to see the damage. But we don't want that damage to occur. That's going to slow everybody down. So make sure that all of your cut lines go to halfway, and you never try and chisel below a cut line, because that is going to happen.